Hey guys, and welcome back to another video game pickup video. This video is running a bit late, and there are several reasons for that. Some of the reasons are I've been busy with work and I've been busy with trying to get the game room in order. And also I've been building some Kotobukiya modeling kits, and I have been, busy playing games and stuff like that. I haven't really found the time or the inspiration to do one of these videos. And part of that is because there's a lot of discussions going around on forums and YouTube and whatever about new YouTubers popping up and making pickup videos, because that's the most, obviously it's an easy thing to do, and people think that's just some sort of bragging, and there's been a lot of negative feedback on pickup videos for some reason. So I haven't really found any inspiration to make one. If it's supposed to make people feel bad about themselves or whatever. But I actually got a lot of messages from people who was asking me where this video was, because usually I make one of these each month, and now it's been about 3 months since I made one of these. So yeah, I got a lot of messages asking me where the video was, or if I had stopped making videos and stuff like that. So that was kind of nice. So I decided I noticed that there are people like me who enjoy watching pickup videos. That's one of the main things I watch on YouTube. It's pickup videos from all kinds of people. I don't just watch the big five or whatever. I watch a lot of pickup videos because I find them interesting, and they give me a lot of ideas, and maybe I catch a glimpse of a game that I never heard about, that I might be interested in and stuff like that. So I decided to make this video anyway, and I will try to make the videos more regularly in the future, and of course make other types of videos. I've been wanting that a long time, but I still got work to do in the game room and stuff like that to really nail down before I start making other videos, like perhaps let's plays or reviews or something like that. So anyway, I got a lot of stuff to show you. I know I told everyone that I wouldn't be buying a lot of games, because I was focusing on the game room and the furnishing and everything in there. But I actually picked up quite a lot of games, a lot of new releases and more retro games than I thought I would pick up. So I've got a lot of stuff to show you that I've been purchasing for the last 3 months. So let's get straight into it. We can start with the first and only Xbox game in the original Xbox, the first original Xbox game in the lot, and that's Arx Fatalis, which is a game that I've tried before, and it's an absolutely amazing game. I played it on the PC, and I found a really nice looking copy for the Xbox for a decent price, so I picked it up. It has been resealed by me in one of these resealable bags, just so it won't get any shelf wear. And if you haven't played Arx Fatalis, it's a dungeon crawler that is really good. It's by the same developer that just recently came out with Dishonored, so you might want to check this one out if you enjoyed that game. They're not all that alike, of course, but the company really enjoys their first-person ventures into the video game market, and a first-person dungeon crawler is, of course, pretty nice. So check that one out. Also picked up one game for the Sega Mega CD, which is the Sega CD in America, and that's Solstice and Cobra Command, which is I guess it's a sort of a double disc compilation of sorts. It was cheap, it's in nice condition, and Solstice is pretty good, so I picked it up. Solstice is a shoot 'em up, so it's pretty nice. Also picked up 2 games for the Sega Mega Drive, or Sega Genesis if you will, and the first is Soleil, which is sort of a Zelda-ish adventure RPG with really nice graphics and a pretty decent soundtrack. I don't quite remember what this game is called in America, but it's called something else. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but I completely forgot about it. But well, if any of you know what it's called in America on the Genesis, you can drop a comment on the video. And the next game for the Sega Mega Drive is Arrow Flash, which is a halfway decent shoot 'em up with a really nice cover art. I wouldn't say it's an amazing shoot 'em up, but it is, it's quite nice. Got some really nice music in there. I also picked up quite a lot of games for the Game Boy Advance. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, a couple, and the first one is Lunar Legend, and I resealed them in these protective boxes. Really nice condition. The game is not all that awesome. It doesn't really hold a candle to the other Lunar games, but it's still quite nice. So always nice to have some portable RPGs. Another portable RPG is Luffy, The Ruins of Lore. And this I haven't even tried yet, but I'm really interested in doing so. But I've heard mixed things about it. Most people they don't seem to think it's all that good, so it's going to be interesting to find out for myself. And yet another RPG, and this is Summon Night, Swordcraft Story. Really nice condition on this one as well. And I haven't tried it. I've tried Summon Night 2 on the DS, but I haven't tried this one, so I really want to try it out. I really enjoyed the DS game. And we have yet another RPG for the Game Boy Advance, and this is Riviera, The Promised Land. And I've got the version on the PSP, I think it is, and I've just tried it out, and it's quite nice. So it's I think it's a Sting developed game, and it's the artwork is really nice in this game. So, but I haven't finished the game, so I can't really say much more about it. And we also picked up a shoot 'em up called Iridium II for the Game Boy Advance. I haven't tried this one out yet, but I've heard good things about it, so would be nice to. I'm currently missing a Game Boy Advance player for my GameCube, which I would really like, because a lot of these games, the RPGs and stuff like that, I would really like to play on television instead of on a little screen. So I really have to focus and pick up one of those for my GameCube. Another game I picked up is called Mech Platoon, and I haven't tried it. I haven't even heard about it. But it was really cheap, so I picked it up, and I don't really know what to think of it. It looks like some kind of a strategy game, but can't say for sure. Also picked up a 2D adventure side-scroller, sort of, called Ladysia. The artwork on the front is pretty appalling, actually, but it's actually pretty nice. I mean, the artwork is pretty nice, but it was quite glitchy and buggy, to be perfectly honest. But the artwork was really nice. And the last Game Boy Advance game is Magical Quest starring Mickey and Minnie, and this is I have never played the Game Boy Advance version, but the Super Nintendo version is awesome. I mean, overly simplistic, but it was just something about the original game on the Super Nintendo that really struck a chord with me. A lot of these old Capcom Disney collaborations are really good, so can't complain. Picked up one game for the PlayStation Portable, and that's This Eclipse. I haven't tried it out yet because a lot of these RPGs, you know, you have to give them a lot of time. You just can't try, you know, 30 minutes and then be done with it. So I haven't had the time to do that yet. But looks like a strategy RPG, and I really love strategy RPGs. So picked it up for cheap as well, so can't really complain. For the Nintendo DS, I picked up quite a lot of games as well because I don't know, I'm really into handhelds. I don't know, I've been playing a lot more handhelds now than I've probably ever done. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've grown tired of a lot of the tropes of the modern generation, with a lot of FPSs and a lot of action games and a lot of quick time events and whatever. That I've been playing a lot of handheld games, both for the Vita, the PSP, the DS, the Game Boy Advance and stuff like that. So, but I've always enjoyed handhelds, and I always seem to pick up quite a few games. So yeah, the first I picked up was freshly picked Tingles Rosy Rupee Land, and this is a game I have been missing for quite a while. It's a game that was never released in the US. It was only released in the PAL regions and in Japan, of course. And it's a really weird but really good game where you play as Tingle, and you need to. The whole game is about rupees. You need to be as greedy a bastard as possible, and just hire goons and collect rupees with your bodyguards and stuff like that. And it's a really interesting game, and the music is good, the art direction is really good, and it's quite weird. And especially if you know this little boss from the Wind Waker game and other Zelda games, he is quite a disturbing character. But it's actually one of the, you know, this game would probably be on a top 10, well, perhaps not a top 10, but at least a top 20 games for the Nintendo DS. It's a really unique game, so I really think you should try it out if you haven't already. Picked up a Zelda game that I hadn't played before, and that's Zelda the Spirit Tracks, and it's still sealed. I haven't opened it, and I don't know. The Zelda games for the Nintendo DS, it's Spirit Tracks and what's the other one? The one with the boat. Phantom Hourglass? That's probably it. Phantom Hourglass is probably it. I don't know. I tried Phantom Hourglass a bit, but I haven't tried this one. But they just didn't resonate with me. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't give them enough time, because a lot of people think it's because I don't enjoy the art direction, but I really loved the Wind Waker art direction, so it's not that at all. I just don't know. I think it's all about the stylus controls doesn't feel right for a Zelda game to me, I think. But I don't know. Maybe I just haven't tried it enough, so I have to give that a whirl when I have the chance. Also picked up another game for the DS called Tao's Adventure, Curse of the Demon Seal. And I think this is called something else in America as well, but I might be wrong. I haven't tried this one out yet, but it's a pretty early RPG adventure for the Nintendo DS. So, yeah, I really would like to try it, but haven't had the time lately. Speaking of RPGs, I picked up a couple more for the DS. Another one is another early RPG for the system, and that's Lost Magic. And I haven't tried it out yet, but it's you play a spellcaster and you draw a lot. You use the stylus to draw the spell runes and stuff like that. And I've heard really mixed things about it, so I really wanted to pick it up and find out for myself if it's good or not. I think that's always the most decent thing to do, is to, you know, whether or not a reviewer bashes a game. So if you find a game that looks interesting or unique, try for yourself before you make an opinion. You know, you don't base your opinion on someone else's opinion. It doesn't work like that. Another RPG is RPG. I think this might be a strategy game. I don't know. One of these games were a strategy game, if I'm not mistaken, and that's Blue Dragon Awakened Shadow Soul. Sorry. It might be the other Blue Dragon game that was a strategy game. Well, I can't really tell you because I haven't tried this one out yet. It's still sealed. It's quite newly bought. But I really like the Akira Toriyama's art style, and you know, I'm a big fan of Dragon Quest, so you know, Blue Dragon always struck a chord with me. So I found it cheap, and I just really thought I should add it to the collection. So I did. So I'll see when I get around to be playing that. Also picked up Mr. Driller. Drill Spirits, and I'm not the biggest Mr. Driller fan, but it was dirt cheap, and I bought it from the same place as I bought Blue Dragon, so I added it to my collection. And another game I picked up, I've been looking for quite a while actually, and it's Lost Window: The Secret of Cape West, which is a sequel to the game. Oh, what was the name? Hotel Room 215. Hotel Room 215. Oh my god, I don't even remember the game's name anymore, but it was this detective story, and with a really neat art style, really, you know, hard pencil drawn animation and stuff like that. And this is the sequel, and it wasn't released in the US. I think it wasn't released in the US, it was only released in Europe and Japan, and it got a bit rare here in Europe because a lot of Americans imported it, and it was a limited run. So it's actually gone up a bit in value, if I'm not mistaken. So I really wanted to play it, so I found it and I snagged it as quick as I could. Picked up a Japanese game as well, and this is Taiko Drum Master, I think it is. I think it's the first one. Not sure. Not the biggest fan of this series, I've only tried it before. But a seller, you know, he almost gave it to me for free, so I couldn't pass it up. Excellent condition. And the last Nintendo DS game is actually a nice pickup. It's probably the nicest pickup. I'm a very big fan of this series, and this was the only one I was missing, and that's Atrium Odyssey 3, Drum City, and this is a game that was never released in Europe. Only the first Atrium Odyssey game was released here, the second and third was not. And the fourth one coming out for the 3DS will probably not be released here as well, which is a damn shame because the 3DS is not region free, and this makes it a bit more problematic for me. It means I have to buy a I mean, I've always wanted a Japanese 3DS for some wacky games, but now I probably will have to pick up an American 3DS as well, because you just can't play RPGs and stuff like that in Japanese if you don't know the language, and I don't know the language, you know, at all. So we'll have to see. I hope some publisher like Rising Star or Ghostlight picks up the rights for Atrium Odyssey 4 and make it happen here in Europe. It would be really nice. Also picked up a couple of games for the Nintendo, not the Nintendo Vita, the PlayStation Vita, sorry. The first game is a Japanese import. It's called Tokuro, and it's I think this is actually out in America, or at least it's going to be released in America as a downloadable only game, in the same vein as Sumioni. And I actually have both Sumioni and Tokuro in the physical copies, and that's just because I enjoy physical copies. I think the games are going to be released as downloadable only here in Europe as well. But it's dirt cheap, and the PS Vita is region free, and the game is most of it is in English anyway, so no problem to play whatsoever. And it's it's a puzzle platformer, very simplistic stuff, and it was very cheap as well. So I would probably never pay full price for it. But when you can get a physical copy for the same price or even cheaper than the download, then, you know, buy the physical copy. It's the right thing to do. And the art style is really nice though. It's a bit of a chalk on blackboard in a bit of a Tim Burton sense, almost. A lot of skeletons and stuff. And yeah, it's quite enjoyable. It's not the best game on the Vita or anything, but it's quite enjoyable. The next game is probably my favorite game on the PS Vita. I know a lot of people think there are better games, but this is probably my favorite game, and that's New Little King Story. This was released in physical format here in Europe. I think the Americans only got a downloadable only version of this game, which is a pity, but you can always import it from us, no problem whatsoever. I really enjoyed Little King Story on the Wii, so it's a no-brainer. I would enjoy it on the PS Vita, and I think it's excellent on the PS Vita. It works very well with the touch controls and everything like that. So, I mean, there are some issues with load times and frame rate drops and stuff like that, but I think it's an excellent game. This is probably the game I would buy a PS Vita for, not Uncharted, but this game. My cat is wanting to come in here. Well, if you hear a cat yawning, it's because he wants to come in here and make a mess, and he's not allowed in here because I have delicate furniture and games in here that he will trash if I let him in. The next game anyway is Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. This is just recently released. I have only tried about 45 minutes or so. Quite decent. I wouldn't say it's the best Assassin's Creed game or whatever. It felt a bit chopped up, but that might be a good thing because it's a portable game. I haven't tried it enough to give it a fair review or a fair opinion actually, but I really liked that it is a female assassin, and the persona system, you know, where she can change into a slave outfit, a lady outfit, or the assassin outfit. It works very well within the era and stuff like that. And yeah, she's a cool character, but the whole beginning of the game, I've only played for 45 minutes, so it felt like the story is going to take back seat to a lot of gimmicky Vita controls and stuff like that. And I think that's the wrong way to go for an Assassin's Creed game. And I think they should, instead of trying to focusing on the PS Vita control schemes and making it a portable experience, I think they should go the other way around and make really immersive console-like experience on the Vita, because the 3DS will probably be a lot better on the gimmicky and chopped up, perfect for portable play anyway. So. And since the battery life of the PS Vita is really bad, you almost need to be playing with the console hooked up in the wall socket anyway. So don't focus on gimmicky controls and chopped up, you know, easy short chapters and stuff like that. You need to focus on the full-length adventures. The newest game I picked up for the PS Vita is Silent Hill Book of Memories. So I'm a Silent Hill fan, and I don't even think this game is so appalling as a lot of people think it is. You know, it doesn't feel like a Silent Hill game whatsoever. It's a decent dungeon crawler with some nice music and haunting atmosphere. And that's about it. It doesn't feel like a Silent Hill game at all. It's not really scary, and but I don't think it's, you know, it's an offshoot of the series. I don't think it's anything to go up in arms about. Although I would have enjoyed a Silent Hill game for the PS Vita. You know, I really thought Silent Hill Origins for the PSP was quite a good game. So I think a Vita game would be pretty nice as well. But then again, I'm also a fan of dungeon crawlers, a big fan actually. And it's an interesting twist of a dungeon crawler. You know, you have your weapons break, so it's not like a normal dungeon crawler where you find the loot and you just equip it and wait for better loot to drop. in here you have to, there's a bit of a survival horror mentality, even though it's not a survival horror game, in that you have to search and scour for items with high durability, so you can exchange your broken weapons for new ones and stuff like that. So it's interesting, but it's not, you know, it's not something I would, you know, say it's worth running out and buying a Vita for. But it's quite nice. Also picked up 2 games for the Nintendo Wii. It's 2 games I've been missing for the collection, and I haven't even tried any of them. But the first is Wing Island. Got it dirt cheap. I heard very mixed things about this, but I don't think it's all that awesome actually. But it's going to be an interesting thing to pop in and give a whirl anyway. Seems to be a bit of a Pilot Wings-ish experience. And the other one is Secret Files Tangaska, which is point-and-click adventure game, and I know those usually work very well with the Wii Remote, so I'm really interested to try that one as well. Picked up 1 game for the Sony PlayStation, and that's Sayuki Journey to the West. It's an American game, was never released here. Haven't tried it out, but it's a strategy RPG. Seems a bit simplistic, but who knows? I haven't tried it, so can't really tell you much about it. For the Super Nintendo, I picked up 2 games. First one being Addams Family Values. Haven't tried this one out yet, but yeah, it looks a bit like The Legend of Zelda, but with Fester instead. Don't know. Never played it when I was younger either, so don't know. I played the Addams Family game that was side-scrolling back when I was younger, which I really enjoyed, so it's going to be interesting to see if I enjoy that game as well. And then I picked up a game that I think is a bit of a hidden gem on the system, and that's Sky Blazer. It's made by Sony for the Super Nintendo, which is quite interesting. It's a side-scrolling action-adventure game with really nice music and Mode 7 effects and stuff like that. It feels a bit like ActRaiser Lite, you know, ActRaiser for dummies perhaps. It's got some kind of ActRaiser feel. It doesn't have the village management or anything like that, but when it comes to the side-scrolling action, it feels a bit like ActRaiser, but it's not halfway near the awesomeness of ActRaiser. Anyway, I think it's a bit of a hidden gem. I remember playing this when I was very young. I rented it from a rental place in town and fell in love with it, so it was really nice to find a complete in-box, really good condition copy to add to the collection. Then we have the original Nintendo, and I actually picked up quite a few games for that system as well. First one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project. Complete in box, in excellent condition. I've sealed it in one of these boxes. Actually had a friend over and we played the living daylight out of it. This is a game that was never released here in Europe, so this is an American copy. And that's why we really wanted to play it, because we enjoyed Turtles 2, the arcade game, which was released here in Europe. So we really wanted to see how part 3 how that played, and it was quite nice. So really happy to pick that one up. Also picked up a bit of a cult classic. That's Clash at Demon Head. Was never released here in Europe as well, but picked up an American copy, and it's quite nice actually. It's I haven't played much of it, but I had to fire it up to see that it worked and everything, and I found myself sitting around playing for at least an hour. Seems decent. A lot of funny dialogue and stuff like that, which is quite uncommon in a Nintendo game. So It looks quite interesting. Also picked up Solstice, the quest for the Staff of Demos. This is a European copy, a Scandinavian copy. Don't know, this is not a game I enjoy all that much, but it's I don't know, it's a sort of a 3D platformer, puzzle platformer. Well, it's not 3D, but well, you can move in 3D almost, in squares, and I don't know. I know there's a lot of people who enjoy this game, but I don't think it's one of my favorite games anyway. So. Also picked up Mission Impossible. Never played this when I was young, so I got no real affinity with it, and I didn't really enjoy it when I tried it out. So, but I've heard a lot of people do, so it's interesting to add to the collection. And then I picked up a game that I found myself enjoying quite a lot, and that's Felix the Cat. And this is an American game as well, because it was never released here in Europe. Excellent condition, resealed, and it's a Super Mario Brothers 3 ripoff with Felix the Cat, and Hudson Soft behind is developing, and it's a quality game. It was really fun, so I will probably find myself playing that more later. Picked up the only Capcom Disney game that was never released here in Europe. We got DuckTales 1 and 2, we got Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers 1 and 2, we got Tailspin, we got them all. But this one we missed out on, and that's The Little Mermaid. So this is the American version because it was never released here. And as most Disney Capcom collaborations, it's a nice game. It's not my favorite of all the collaborations, but that would probably be DuckTales, I think. But it's really nice nonetheless. It's got some almost like shoot 'em up vibes mixed with Bubble or something like that. It's really enjoyable, but I wouldn't say it's the best game of the whole collaboration. Also picked up a couple of games for the N64, and a lot of games that are quite expensive, and a lot of games that I'm really happy that I got my hands on. The first game I don't know much about. It was included in a package deal, and I'm sorry, but I've forgotten the name of it. It's this game. It's a Japanese N64 game. I completely forgot the name. I had it a couple of minutes ago. Oh well, maybe one of you knows the name for this game, but it's I can't really play it. It's a lot of dialogue in it. I don't understand a whole lot. So, but it was included in a package deal, and that's always nice, I guess. I also picked up. Then we go in one game that is quite rare actually, and was it was released here in Europe. Well, not Europe. It was released in Australia. I don't think it was released anywhere else in. It was released in America and in Australia, and the Australian print is very, very limited, even more limited than the American print. So it's quite rare to find a PAL copy, but I picked up an American copy in excellent condition, and that's a copy of Starcraft 64. Amazing game. Although, I mean, the PC version is superior due to mouse and keyboard, but I'm also very impressed with what Blizzard managed to cram into this cartridge. It includes the original game and Brood Wars, and you can play co-op. You can play skirmishes with another player, split screen, and stuff like that. So really impressive, and quite a nice strategy game for the N64. Picked up another game that was never released here in Europe, and that's Ogre Battle 64 in amazing condition. Not a scratch on it, resealed. And I haven't gotten the time to play this yet, but I really enjoyed the other Ogre Battle games. So I can't imagine that I will dislike this. So very, very happy to pick this one up. It wasn't necessarily all that cheap, but I've seen it I've seen it sell for, well, almost double the amount. So really happy to pick that one up in this amazing condition. Also picked up 2 Scandinavian copies of games that are quite rare, at least here in Europe. The first one is Castlevania Legacy of Darkness for the N64. It's the Scandinavian copy with the Swedish manual insert. And I mean, Castlevania 64, both of those games actually get a lot of flack most of the times. But I was mainly an N64 player at the time when these were released, and I quite enjoy them. I still enjoy them. There are problems with the camera and the overabundance of platforming, but I mean, both of them were quite atmospheric, and I think that they're quite good actually. I mean, they're not. The PlayStation got Symphony of the Night, and there's no question about which is the better game. But I'm just saying that they aren't all that bad. I mean, the platforming and the camera could have been a lot better. And then we have another rare game, and this is probably only, I don't know if this is rare in America. It is rare in Europe only if you want the English version or the Scandinavian version, which is basically the English version with a Swedish, Danish and Finnish inlay in the manual, and that's Shadowgate 64 Trials of the Four Towers. And I really like this game. I'm a big fan of the original Shadowgate, and while we're on that topic, please go to the Kickstarter and fund the new Shadowgate project, because it's going to be awesome. Anyway, back on topic. Shadowgate 64, I mean, it is a sort of a point and click. I mean, it's an adventure game without pointing and clicking, because you're using an N64 controller and you're just mashing your button and picking up stuff and trying to find out where to use it. Well, basically an adventure game. And with a bit of a, I mean, the graphics are a bit muddy and stuff like that, but really love the soundtrack and stuff like that. I really was engrossed in this when I played it back in the days, so I was really happy to find it. This one is extremely expensive to find out in the wild, several hundreds of pounds to English pounds to find in this amazing condition, and I managed to find it very, very cheap from a seller here in Sweden. And I couldn't believe it when I finally got the game home, how amazing it was, in, condition-wise. So I was really happy to pick that one up, and I will probably be playing that very soon, because I got really overwhelmed with nostalgia when I got the game home, and I just recently replayed Shadowgate for the NES, so I just had to play that game. The last N64 game I picked up during these 3 months is a sealed copy of the American game Nightmare Creatures for the N64, which I have resealed in one of these boxes as well. I have played Nightmare Creatures both 1 and 2 on the PlayStation, and I think there was a Dreamcast version as well, but I don't think I played that. And I mean, they're decent games. It's no favorite of mine, but the N64 version was never released in Europe. It was only released in America. I don't even think it was released in Japan, so I picked it up. They're cheap and it was still sealed, so I don't know. Can't go wrong with that. And before we go into all the really, really big collector's editions and stuff like that, let's have a look at the ordinary pickups. I picked up Dishonored, but I haven't played it yet. It's still sealed, as you can see. Came with this pre-order steel case, which is always nice. It's a nice bonus. We didn't pay anything extra for it.